Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, the strategies, and the insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today, I'm very lucky to be joined by Nadine of Darling. How's it going, Nadine?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I'm super happy to have you on here. And
Oh, thank
Nadine,
you.
I would love to just start by understanding a little bit more about your background, what brought you to Darling, and a little bit more about Darling.
Sure. I'm the elder millennial who graduated college and Facebook opened up its doors to businesses like shortly after and been running on social media ever since. My background comes from all different areas, a little bit of television and broadcast, a little bit satellite radio from Sirius XM. I've touched points on nonprofits and like media opportunities through puppies and kitties because they make the world go round, right? And then I landed here at Darling almost 3 years ago now. It's been a great experience ever since. I came from internal, but now we're an external, obviously. I love the agency life because you get to work on so many different projects at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And for those who don't know, what does Darling specialize in?
So we're marketing, advertising, and branding as our focal points. Of course, social, because that's where I come in. But we work on all different types of industries. So we have med tech, we have the finance world and fintech. We work in CPG. We've done some events and branding for that. One project doesn't compare to another. We like exploring as far as we can go because it's really our expertise that kind of help guide our business partners.
And I want to talk about you for a second, Nadine. You mentioned that the people and the trust they placed in you from the first meeting inspired you to join Darling. Could you elaborate on what aspects of the team's dynamics and the culture attracted you to the agency?
Yeah, so we're a boutique agency. And believe it or not, I got a response to my application on a Sunday. And my boss, Arun, was like, I'm so sorry for emailing you, but we wanted to bring you in for an interview. So we had my first phone call, and I just felt like this connection with the group. And I think that's really important when you're picking your next position. We're spunky, right? We're fun, we're lighthearted, we talk about anything and everything. But what makes Darling is really how like quickly we can turn things around and how flexible we are to each other because we have this team environment. No one is one leader. Every idea is a good idea. And if it's not, let's like bring it to a new level and change it and modify it to make it this campaign. But really, it's just like the openness of the team and how much we just like sync. We're just perfect together.
That's awesome. And that's so important, especially when you guys are working on, you guys have done some really cool
Yeah.
work. Check out the website on Morton Salt
Yeah.
and stuff, things that
Yeah.
require
That was fun.
large, well-known brands and they require creativity and they require spunkiness, right?
Yeah. You think about it, it goes with everything. It literally can be you're boiling water for your pasta, right? Or you're adding it to the end of your dessert. Salts can go a long ways, and it's fun to find different avenues to utilize some of our products. So, like Morton Salt, we like to do different challenges. We come up with salt tips, and those perform really well. So, not your average everyday culinary workspace. And then also for Morton, there's a whole home care line for water softener that we're responsible for. So, it's really like the lifestyle and like breathing into the your day-to-day aspects of how you interact with water and salt.
Yeah, that's so cool. I loved seeing how you guys approach that. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of having worked with clients across various industries, how do you guys adapt your design and your marketing strategies to meet the unique needs of each sector?
So for us, it's a lot of like education. We'd like to get into the nitty gritty and we'd like to almost interview our clients and we'd like to understand who they are, what's their need, why are they reaching out to us, and not have it in the sometimes in a group setting, but also on an intimate level. So if you and I were talking, you might have a different perspective than your boss or your coworker. So we like to really get into the culture of company before we make the next step of a proposal. We want to understand all aspects of what you are, what your needs are before we even take it to the next level. And then we, as an organization, I mentioned flexibility a couple of times already in this conversation. We like to present like a Chinese menu. We want you to feel comfortable with what we're offering to you. And we always find a way to over deliver on that promise to begin with. It's just about building a relationship with our clients. We never want them to feel like they're left hit on the edge of a cliff about to jump off and with no support or no parachute. We want to be that support for them.
Yeah. Now you speak about flexibility, and there's something that's really unique about Darling in that you guys have been operating for 17 years without a formal mantra or mission statement, focusing
Yeah.
instead on providing high levels of service with flexibility, like you mentioned, and creativity. How does this approach, like how has it influenced the agency's growth and client relationships over the years?
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to word of mouth and good SEM. We definitely have had, even more recently, we've done events like Tulip Day in New York City. We've worked with, we got a pitch recently from a supplement company. So
Wow.
we really we don't hyper focus on what your product line or industry is. We hyper focus on like how our strategy can help expand your needs on whatever that need or demographic may be. It, it really comes back to that moment of being here for you more so than forcing something on you. We want you to feel comfortable enough that like our work presents itself. You've seen our website, darling.nyc. It's all visuals. It's
Yeah.
case studies after case studies, but not presented in like the old fashioned way of here's the facts, here's a one pager, because that's not how we operate. We're very visual in what we want to prepare for you. And everything else comes secondary, it comes natural to us.
Wow, yeah, that's really cool. It's always so interesting to me. You see these different types of agencies that are very transactional, and respectively, there's nothing wrong with that. People that have full-on sales teams and they're trying to get clients all the time. They've got quotas to meet and all that stuff. And not to say you guys don't, but it seems like you guys have this, you like, hey, we're just gonna do really good work, and the work we do is gonna attract other people to us. And
Exactly. That's
that
how we feel. That's how we
yeah,
feel for sure.
that's
It's our presentation, right? Our website is our portfolio. There's many other examples that we could add into
yeah,
our website, but we don't want to make it this like 20 or 30 page project of you feeling lost in the sauce because
yeah.
even our call to action is all about darling. Like, shall we chat, darling? Let's talk to you, darling. Hello, darling. We even have it in our day-to-day sign-offs in our weekly meetings, our daily meetings. We say, bye, darlings. We just make it about us. Like,
I love
there's
that.
stickers all over the
Oh
place.
my
There's
God, nice.
pens. We have all of our promo items too. We
That's
like
really
to
cool.
keep it into that like openness, friendliness. We're
Mm,
here for you. We want to work with you. It's
yeah,
just part of our personality.
that's awesome. So with in-house studio capabilities ranging from traditional media to digital and even experiential, how does Darling ensure the quality and consistency of its creative outputs across like different platforms?
And it all depends on what platform we're utilizing. Of course, we cycle in videographers and photographers. If there's something that we need, we have a videographer and photographer in-house as well, but it just depends on what the goal of the client is, and then we develop around there. So our digital assets can range from something so intimate to like a broadcast ad or an ad on your site to something as like virality as Morton salts, where some things we prep ahead of time and other things we jump on the lamp trend, using your candle warmer as now a dip warmer. So things of that nature. We just have such flexibility to tailor every element to our client that we sometimes we make it in house. All of us starlets have made more content in one way, shape, or form. Or it could be that we need to bring in the big guns and we're working and we're wearing our producer hat or director hat versus working on the executioner, the actual driving the force and
Right,
creating the content.
right. Based on your experience, what emerging trends do you foresee in the design and marketing industry, and how is Darling preparing to leverage some of these trends for you guys as clients?
I think we always are on the forefront of content development and marketing. We have our own blog in house that we like to publish different pieces of content because everyone has their own expertise. So, talking about AI, talking about demographics that you may not normally focus on, like the dad space or the grandparent space and things of that nature. So we're really on the forefront of paying attention to what others are doing and what how the industry is shifting from one thing to the next. But we don't hyper focus because I feel like as you've seen our clientele ranges from A to B, A to Z. There's no way to tunnel vision. You can't have that, right? You
Right.
really have to keep your eyes and ears open to move forward in the digital marketing space.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's cool that you guys are thinking about these outer demographics that not a lot of people think about, or that get missed sometimes. Nadine, this
Yeah,
has been awesome. And where can people learn more about
great.
you, and where can people learn more about your agency?
You can learn about me on LinkedIn, Nadine Grindell, and you can learn about Darling at darling.nyc.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for being on.
Of course, of course. Happy to be here.